Today, we're heading to Wichita, Kansas for a story that is it's as tragic as it is shocking. It's got everything: a public figure, a really violent crime, and a family that's just been torn apart. So let's unpack what we know about this story. The headlines are just jarring, you know? A former news anchor, someone whose face was trusted to deliver the news every day, is now the one making the news, accused of first-degree murder. And the victim? Her own 80-year-old mother. So to really get the full impact of this story, we've got to understand who exactly is at the center of all these accusations. Okay, so the woman at the heart of this is 47-year-old Angelynn Mock. Now, for years, she was a pretty familiar face in the St. Louis area, working as an anchor and reporter for Fox 2. But back in 2015, she left the news world for a career in sales, kind of stepping out of the public eye. Well, until now, obviously. I mean, this is the part that's just so hard to wrap your head around, right? On one hand, you have this public persona of a professional, a journalist, and on the other, you have this private accusation of the most horrific thing imaginable, killing your own mother. It's a really unsettling contrast. So what are the actual facts here? Let's try to piece together the timeline of that awful morning based on what the police have told us. It all started on the morning of October 31st. A call comes in for a reported cutting. It's just before 8 a.m. when police get there, and they find Angelynn Mock outside the house. But inside, the scene was just grim. Her 80-year-old mother, Anita Avers, was unresponsive, with multiple stab wounds. They rushed her to the hospital, but sadly, it was just too late. After a tragedy like this, the official response was, as you'd expect, very swift. So now let's turn to the legal side of things and where the investigation is at. Angelynn Mock was charged with murder in the first degree. And you've got to understand, this isn't a lesser charge. This means that prosecutors believe this act was intentional, that it was planned. It carries the absolute most severe penalties you can get under the law. And to really underscore the seriousness of this charge, her bond was set at a staggering $1 million. A figure like that, it just speaks volumes about how seriously the court is taking this case. So what's happening now? Well, after the incident, Mock was treated for some injuries. They haven't said what they were, before she was taken into custody. Right now, she's in the Sedgwick County Jail, and authorities are making it clear the investigation is still very much active and ongoing. But here's the thing. Even with all these facts, all these details, there is a huge, crucial piece of this puzzle that's just missing. The one question that's hanging over this entire case. And that's the motive. As of right now, police have not released any information about why this might have happened. The why behind this absolute tragedy is a complete mystery, which leaves the whole community just trying to process the unthinkable. And, well, that's where the story is today. You have a public career on one side, a horrific private tragedy on the other, and just a wall of unanswered questions. It's a stark reminder, isn't it, that we often only see the polished surface of people's lives. What really happens behind closed doors? And what on earth could drive a daughter to such a breaking point? These are the questions that are just going to haunt this case as it moves forward.